All right, everybody, welcome into episode 18 of the Hooley Brothers podcast. We have a March Madness preview for you. We're here on the night of the first four games. We're in game number 3 right now, watching App State and Norfolk State. We're getting ready for Michigan State and UCLA to kick off in about 45 minutes or so here. And yeah, we've had 2 games go final so far. And well, I guess to start off, Mike, how you doing tonight? How you enjoying the game so far?
Pretty good, and especially that last one went right down to the wire. Drake with a massive comeback, tried to give it away, but was able to hold on.
It did, and I have to say, we'll kind of go back to the beginning here. Well, I don't want to say much about it because we don't know much about the teams, but I was right with my Michael Weathers pick in Texas Southern. Weathers didn't have too much of an impact on the game. He got into a little bit of foul trouble in the second half, but Texas Southern able to pull it out. They now have to play Michigan in the first round after the playing game. So a good win by Texas Southern there. And as you mentioned there, it was, I think, 19-8 at one point. Wichita State was up in the first half. Drake able to make a comeback. It came down to the final shot by Wichita State. And that's something I want to talk to you about, too, because I was watching the final play there, and it looked like they had a little bit of time. Granted, it was an open 3, but they're only down 1. I think they might have had a few more seconds to maybe get closer inside the paint there.
I was okay with that 3. Like, I know.
No, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it, but I just wonder if maybe you could have got a little bit of a closer or better shot.
I think it was in an in rhythm 3, like with some of these passes. Like, I think there was a guy, like, not in the guy's face, but maybe could have like disrupted a pass and
right,
very off balance shot. So I do agree with the 3 there, even though I think more of just pushing it up the floor with only 5 seconds left in the missed free throw.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I guess we talked about it last time, but I think we're going to get more into the specifics of it on this episode. So I think the best way to do that is going region by region here. So we'll start in the West, and I see Mike on our little outline here. You posted the first question: can anyone beat Gonzaga? And I know we kind of talked about this on our last episode here, but they did get a very favorable draw, if I were to say so. I think they have teams that have some question marks, maybe coming off of COVID. I know you have in here alone kind of Kansas and Virginia and Oklahoma a little bit themselves, but can anyone beat Gonzaga as far as the getting to the Final Four? I think my quick answer to that is no.
Yeah, it was really good live for them. I know I mentioned the other night that they've beaten a lot of the top other teams in their bracket.
Yeah.
Like, I remember vividly the Kansas game on Thanksgiving and the Iowa game kind of right before the New Year. It was the same, yeah, like right in like December. So
right,
they're playing some pretty good basketball right now. Like I do kind of get worried when they get closer to the end if they're able to, because they're kind of coast all year in the West Coast Conference. If they have an easy line of the Final Four, if they end up facing a pretty good team in the Final Four in the championship game, they might be up for a big challenge. But I think inside their region, they're the heavy favorite, and I'm not really sure we can beat them.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think, again, they got a very favorable draw here. I know we talked about playing game predictions, kind of a little bit late for that. We got on a little, we have 2 teams already in already. And then we have 2 16s going now with App State and Norfolk State. I think that could go either way, but I think for the late game, that'd be an interesting one. I think we're on opposite sides there. I do have the Spartans winning the game, and actually I'm beating BYU, and I know we'll get to a little bit of specific picks as far as the regions go later, but I take it that's the same. You're on the Bruins side as far as this starts.
Yeah, Michigan State is very hit or miss this year. Like they've beat Illinois,
right.
Ohio State, and Michigan, but even as recently as the last couple of weeks, you see them lose to 10 seed Maryland pretty handedly. Both times they played them, one in College Park and one on the neutral floor at the Big Ten championship.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. They started looking strong down the stretch, but then you have to explain that, the game against Maryland was a little bit of a dud. You know that we're going to be able to face Michigan, at least try to play a good game against them. But I'm still riding them. January, February, Izzo. I'm still kind of feeling that a little bit. But I do want to take a quick sidebar here as I'm having a bit of a white claw, enjoying myself on a Thursday night. Just how great is this, Michael? We need to take a quick sidebar. We got a little appetizer tonight before the main event on Friday and Saturday. I'm just loving every second of this. We didn't have it last year. I think I was traveling the year before, so I kind of missed part of the second day at least of March Madness. So I'm happy to be back in the swing of things.
Yeah, well, I've never thought I'd be so into 16 versus 16 on the same day.
No.
I was very much enjoying the Mount St. Mary's Texas Southern game earlier. So
710 days between NCAA championship games, which is just, or NCAA, yeah, tournament games rather, which is just insane. But so I wanted to make a quick sidebar there. I almost wanted to lead with that, but I had to address just kind of how happy I am and how excited I am for the next couple of days. They're gonna have to work tomorrow. Then we have all Saturday, and then yeah, I'm thrilled.
the only downside is kind of how kind of they're not getting treated the best in their hotel rooms, getting some pretty subpar food and stuff. But
Yeah, I feel for the players. They definitely, deserve the best, and I think the NCAA did have a lot of time to prepare for this. But as a fan's perspective, like I want them to be treated as much as possible. But as far as the products getting shown to us, I don't think there's anything a fan can complain about as far as the product goes. Because again, we had literally nothing a year ago.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like as a fan, I'm gonna be happy, but I at least had to put in my 2 cents on.
No, for sure, exactly. I mean, like it's there's all this controversy with the paying players and making money off their name and likeness. That's its own thing. But yeah, they have plenty of time to prepare this thing. I really hope they can get everything kind of squared away and everyone kind of gets the treatment, the food, everything that they deserve. But yeah, quick sidebar there, just kind of mention how happy I am. But let's dig a little bit deeper into the West region here. I think we all think Gonzaga's pretty much destined to, I'd say, at the absolute least, the Elite Eight here in this bracket. Because I don't know. Let's get into it because again, that 8-9 game, I think Oklahoma and Mizzou could kind of go either way. I do have the Sooners winning that game, but then the buck stops there, and they're going to run into Gonzaga. So I think that at least top quadrant of that section is pretty much chalked no matter who wins that Oklahoma Mizzou game.
Yeah, I was on the Oklahoma side to start with. I'm looking at the lines right now. It's pretty much a pick 'em with Oklahoma being a -1 favorite. But I did see news that across the hundreds of COVID tests that came across, I think 9 came up positive, and one that was positive was Davion Harmon for Oklahoma. Their second leading scorer behind Reeves. So he's going to be out at least the first 2 games. And I feel like in these 8-9 toss-up games that of 2 teams, especially that are struggling, that could be the difference.
Well, that's good to know, Mike. This is information that helps me. Glad we have till noon tomorrow to make any last-minute adjustments to the bracket. Again, that's one that will only cost a point or two, a point here, because again, I think Gonzaga is going to be either one, but that's very helpful.
That was my thing. I don't really like to tinker that much, but like as someone like there's a couple of these games like we'll probably get to later on between the 8-9s and the 7-10s where I could really go on.
But yeah, and that's something
I expect never next round no matter what, so I can be easily swayed. And that was just one type of a late night tweet I saw from Ross Dean last night that should maybe go on this morning and flip them.
Yeah, no, and that's very helpful because I think like you said, yeah, a lot of these, especially the 8-9, and we've never had to think about that before, right? I mean, like as far as the 8-9 games, 7-10 games, as far as the different, these COVID impacts, like we've never obviously had to deal with that before. So it's things that like you might think you're feeling a certain way on a team, but then the slightest little bit can switch kind of in the other direction there. And I want to get down now to kind of the next step below. We have the 4 and 5 seed in this bracket. I think this is the bracket that's most likely to see a 12 versus 13 matchup in the second round. I don't know if we'll quite get that, but it seems like 2 teams that are vulnerable. One with Creighton. I think a lot of people were, I think they made it to the Big East final, but I think a lot of people thought that they, going up against Georgetown, they might have had a better fight there. But so I think people see them as vulnerable, and then also Virginia coming off the COVID issues as well. So I have one of 2 going down there. I don't know about yourself. I do have the Gauchos of Santa Barbara coming through, but I do have the Cavaliers holding them off the Ohio. And I know a lot of people are big on Ohio, so I could see going that way, the complete opposite way, a mix of the 2. I think a lot of things could happen.
I too have the Gauchers of UC Santa Barbara.
Yes, I think a lot of people are big on them.
I think a name to keep your eye out. Heard Ja'Cory McLaughlin is the conference player of the year in that tournament, so that's a name to keep eye out. And for Ohio, James Preston.
Yes.
Where he's a pro prospect. So I do have UC Santa Barbara and then Virginia winning, and I'm not too high on Virginia, especially now. Like I think they're only getting to Indy on Friday afternoon, going to have like a shoot around.
I know, and that's something you have to consider too.
A ballroom and then playing that night, so it's something to consider. So I might pick both these teams to cover their spread. And
right. Yeah.
Could
and
both money.
Yeah, and taking it a step further, I think just because of the way the bracket played out, I do see Virginia getting to the Sweet 16, but I think Gonzaga's going to handle them very easily.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Kind of they could Gonzaga might be able to sleepwalk because even like I'm not too high on Oklahoma,
Yeah,
Missouri, and then a 16 seed, so they might just be able to
yeah.
walk their way into the Elite Eight.
So seems like we have pretty similar top halves of that region as far as how it's going to break down. Kind of a Gonzaga, then the winner of Oklahoma, Mizzou, the Gauchos, and Virginia. Then it seems like we both have Gonzaga and Virginia kind of being in that Sweet 16 matchup, and obviously the Zags advancing there. If we go to the bottom half of that bracket there, that's where we kind of run into, I think, a lot more question marks. And a game tonight that is going to be impacted by that is the USC game. I think they're going to steamroll Drake. I was watching this game. It's like the late 40s, early 50s in this game. I'm like, I just think the Trojans are going to absolutely mop the floor with whoever came out of this game. It ends up being Drake, and I still think that's the case here.
I went into this week picking the winner of that game to win the game.
I thought about it for a little bit, and then I was like, nah.
After watching it, I'm not sure how confident I am, but I might just stick to my guns and hopefully.
Okay, I mean, hey, I respect that.
I really don't see like Drake played terrible and they were to come out with the W, so I'm hoping that they can like play better than that. And I watched a couple USC games this year, and they go as Evan Mobley goes. So like if the Drake defense,
all people are high on them.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just kind of a weaker bracket, especially with Kansas being pretty limited with their COVID issues, that they might be able to think they can have a pretty easier 3 seed to get by to the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
So, like, again, like I'm gonna stick my guns with USC losing to Drake, even though I'm not sure it's the best take, but
yeah, no, that's fine. And just kind of going off of that. Sorry, go ahead.
I can easily see them getting to the Elite Eight if they can get past this game, because even I did see that Drake did lead their conference in scoring an average like 77 points a game. I thought I saw that during the broadcast, and it was pretty shocking.
Yeah.
So, at least the loyal games, they're pretty much a slugfest.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think kind of going off of that, I think you have USA losing that game. I would assume you have Kansas winning their game against Eastern Washington. So I'd assume you at least have Kansas in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I have the COVID-ridden teams battling through to the Sweet 16.
I think Kansas is, if they can get past that, they were starting to play some really good basketball down the stretch. They obviously the winning against Baylor, and then they were looking pretty good in the Big 12 tournament before they had to stop due to COVID. So I think if they can get most of their guys back, I actually like them. I have USC winning and them beating the Trojans in the next round. So we'll get to that kind of portion of the bracket a little bit after, but kind of going down to the last 2 games there, we have Oregon VCU, then Iowa and Grand Canyon. I could be wrong with I'm assuming we both have Iowa winning that first game, and then I have the Ducks. I know Rothstein said they're one of the most underseeded teams of the tournament. Oregon at a 7 seed there, so I have them beating VCU as well.
Yeah, I have them beating VCU. They're -5. Might do that.
Okay. So, but yeah, that lines up with the bottom half of the bracket. I have USC and Kansas. It sounds like you might have Wichita State. I mean, I'm sorry, Drake and Kansas, and then Oregon and Iowa.
Oregon, then Oregon, Iowa.
I'm sorry?
The Drake, Kansas, Oregon, Iowa.
Okay, and then who do you have coming out of that and meeting in the Sweet 16 there?
I'm just rolling with the chalk. I have Kansas, Iowa.
Okay, all right. So I think that makes things a little more interesting. And now I think we both, kind of admitted that we had Gonzaga kind of handling the Cavaliers in Virginia pretty easily, just due to kind of all the issues they've had this year. So I think we both have the Zags winning that matchup.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the bottom half of the bracket. So you have Kansas and Iowa. I also have Kansas and Iowa. And then who do you have coming out of the matchup there?
Iowa.
You do have Iowa. Okay, I went with the Jayhawks. I'm not too confident. I just, there's something about the blue and red, something about I'm high on Kansas, so I do actually have them going to the Elite Eight. But then I have them losing to Gonzaga and Gonzaga going to the Final Four there.
Well, that was the thing. My thing with Iowa all year was that I expect them to end up being a 2 seed at the end of the year, and watching them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I was like, they're going to be so good all year. They end up being a 2 seed, and they're going to be so amazing. Then they're going to choke. But the way they're a 2 seed, but they haven't really impressed me too much. So I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I think they're going to peak early, throughout the entire regular season, and then choke late. But now they haven't peaked, so I think they might. I think I've been disrespecting them too much, and that they're so high on the Pac-12 teams when. I don't know. The Pac-12 basketball has been the best. Like we literally just saw Oregon State win the conference, and I don't think they're any good. So
Yeah.
I'm just trying
Yeah.
to keep it to the at least the blue book conferences and keep it at Kansas, Iowa, and I think that'll be Garza's game where he kind of goes off, and then
Yeah.
I think he'll probably show his flaws on the defensive side, and Gonzaga
Yeah.
will handle them and get
Again, it's one of those picks I'm not too confident about. I'm taking a gamble there, going with the Jayhawks, but because I could definitely see Iowa get into that game. But yeah, that's what I got. So okay, we're pretty similar. We both have the Zags in the Final Four. But I now want to shift down to the South region. So we have Gonzaga coming out of the East.
the West with Gonzaga, and then
Sorry, I'm on the. I went a little bit too. I got ahead of myself there. Gonzaga's in the West. I scrolled a little bit too far. So yeah, now we're on to the East. As much as I love Texas Southern, they are going to lose to Michigan, so we can just go ahead with that one. LSU St. Bonaventure. I think that's a real tight one. I could see kind of going either with the Bonnies have had a good year, but ultimately I do have the LSU Tigers winning that game.
yeah, the big three of Cam Thomas, Smart. I'm blanking on his first name. It's a very common name. Yeah, Smart, and then Watford. So like those big three can put up points.
Yeah,
This team can put up a lot of points.
Watford.
So the Bonaventures, like, watch out for them next year, especially because I think that all starting five is juniors.
Mm-hmm.
So they might be a team to watch out for next year. But I think just the firepower of the LSU offense is going to carry them. -2 is the spread in this game.
All right, so we'll have Michigan and LSU meeting in the round of 32. Let's go down the bracket a little bit. We've Colorado, Georgetown, and then Florida State versus UNC Greensboro. I'm assuming we both have the Knowles in the round of 32, but and correct me if I'm wrong there, but I actually have the Hoyas winning a game here in March Madness. I know it's a little bit unorthodox, but I do have Georgetown winning that game against Colorado.
Okay, so spreads: Florida State's 10.5 and Colorado's 6.5. My hot take is that I think the team that has a better chance of upsetting them is UNC Greensboro.
Okay, I don't hate it. I
have both Colorado and FSU moving on. I just really think that Georgetown kind of peaked at the Garden with Patrick Ewing and all that stuff. And if you watch,
I do, but they're hot. You know what I mean? And part of me is like a lot of times with these upsets too. If it's like maybe a 5-12 or a 4-13 or maybe even a 6-11, whatever it might be. Part of me is like, well, if I'm on the fence and I think they're going to lose the next round anyway, but let's just roll the dice here. And that's kind of what I did with Georgetown. I think Florida State's coming out of this section of the bracket no matter what. So that's kind of why I went with Georgetown there. I think I don't know. I think they kind of got hot end of the season. And so I think that's going to carry them to one victory. I think it's going to be real close against them in Colorado. But yeah. But again, I have Florida State meeting there no matter what. And just kind of take that a step further. Do you have Florida State beating Colorado, or are you kind of like, or do you have Colorado advancing there?
Yeah. So yeah, I think Colorado's gonna move on. I think because of, like I said, McKinley right, the point guard is very good for them, and they are the best free throw shooting team in the country. So just something that makes a difference. But
yeah, absolutely.
I think if Florida State can get past UNC Greensboro, which was pretty pesky, I watched their tournament game, and other insiders are kind of like very upset with the draw they had because they would have been a trendy upset if they weren't playing Florida State. But
like if you give them like Virginia, like for instance.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty easy. Like, yeah, I really am a big believer in Leonard Hamilton's crew, and I think they'll get the Sweet 16 to play Michigan in a rematch of the 2018 Elite Eight.
Yeah, exactly. So I did want to take a quick pause here because I know you mentioned one of the questions you had at the outline is how many teams can win this region, and I think that's a very interesting question here. I'm going to put my number honestly at 5. I think 5 teams could win this region.
I mean, I can't even say
four real ones and then one dark horse, which I think a lot of people, not even a dark horse, because a lot of people bigger than that's UConn. But I could see any of the other top 4 seeds winning this.
I can say 6, and if everything goes according to plan for this program, 7.
Okay, well, I mean, let's get into it on the bottom half here. So BYU is going to face the winner of Michigan State and UCLA. Again, Mike's got UCLA tonight. I have Michigan State. I think Michigan State's actually going to win a game against BYU here. I don't know if you feel the same way about UCLA kind of facing BYU in the first round of 3-1 tonight.
I think either team can beat BYU, to be honest. So
yeah. I'd reconsider if UCLA wins, but I also could very well let it stand.
I mean, UCLA 17-9, and a lot of their losses have come down the stretch. So, but
Yeah.
I think I can't pronounce the name. I think it's like Jamie Yaquez or something like that. He's
Mhm.
probably one of the most energetic players in the country. I think Rothstein says a 50-50 ball when he's going for it's 90-10 his side.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So I think they can if they can I think they can win tonight and do that. But I think the one team that I was saying if everything goes right is Michigan State because we said like they included
Yeah. Yeah.
like if they can if they win tonight, get past BYU, and end up in the round of 32. That's like a
Mhm.
couple straight wins, and they could be rolling. So like who knows?
Yeah.
Let's say they get to the Elite Eight and it's the Battle of Michigan.
Yeah. Well, I said 5, and you said 6, maybe 7. So who's your 6? Is it Colorado?
Colorado, just like the fact like
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
free throw shooting is so huge in
Okay.
this, and
All right.
one guy that can go off, and McKinley Wright's pretty good.
Yeah. All right. And then I think these next 3, I think we're gonna have very similar results here. I think Texas for Abilene Christian. I think we all have the Longhorns in that one. Same thing what I'd say with Alabama Iona, as great as it is to see Rick Pitino back at the tournament. I think we all think the Tide are gonna roll there. But then UConn Maryland. UConn's a pretty hot team coming to the tournament. I know they didn't have the best Big East final. They had a lot of opportunities late in their game in the semis there. But I think we all think the Huskies are going to advance there. Is that correct? Those 3 teams?
I
As the
have
first round goes?
I have UConn Alabama in one of those 2 games, but I'm nervous. I'd be very nervous if I was UConn. There's a lot of pressure on them.
Yeah. Yeah. But then also Texas versus Abilene Christian, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah. That's
Yeah. Okay.
Red. Wow.
Okay, yeah. So then that brings us to Michigan LSU. Do we both have the Wolverines in that one? I still think without Isaiah Livers, I still think they're a strong team and still can make a pretty good run at this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I can talk like this is the most confusing region for me of counting on like all of it.
Yeah. I know. I agree.
Multiple teams slotted in the Final Four spot here, but I'm just looking at all these like round of 32 matchups, and I can be like I can pick pretty much everyone here. Maybe outside LSU, but who knows? They can even. I can pretty much see losing this game and these teams making the Final Four. Like I might even consider LSU in the same level as Michigan State, which is
absolutely. So all right, so that sets up. I think we both agreed on Florida. I think we both said Florida State, so Michigan, Florida State, in Sweet 16 there, and then how about the MSU/UCLA matchup versus Texas, and then UConn and Alabama. I personally have Texas taking care of the winner of that game. And then also Alabama topping Huskies to set up the Texas Bama. Shout out Beyonce there in the Sweet 16 matchup.
You see, so when you can't figure out what's going to happen, I just went chalk. So 1-4, 3.
Right. I agree, and that's something too I want to get to. Yeah, we'll get to it kind of later on once we finish all the regions here. But yeah, so I have the same thing. I have Michigan meeting up with Texas in the Elite Eight. Do you have a different result there?
I have Michigan matching with Texas.
Okay. All right. So this is where I'm hitting a bit of a dilemma myself. I do have the Wolverines still prevailing over the Longhorns. Tell me if you're seeing something a little bit different there, Mike. You got the horns. Okay, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about switching it. So again, this is something that's going to come early in the AM tomorrow. I think is going to be my final decision.
Alabama.
What's that? Huh? What's
that? My original pick was Alabama, but I just there's so many variables because like they are playing UConn with book night. Like I think.
Yeah, exactly.
The more
Texas is more set in their second round matchup. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna say it now. But
yeah, exactly.
Like on paper, they definitely had the easier path to the round of the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
And just I was very impressed with how their bigs are playing with Jericho Sims and Kai Jones. So
yeah,
I just hope that they can control the glass. Like and this having 3 experienced guards that can score 1-on-1 between Ramy, Andrew Jones, and Coleman.
Yeah.
So if you have and then Greg Brown energy.
I don't hate it. I really might make a late change, but I do for now have the Wolverines coming out of that region. So I have Gonzaga, Michigan 2-1s. You have Gonzaga and Texas are 1 and 3. So now going over to the right side of the bracket games that are going to be played on Saturday. Baylor, Hartford. I'm not even going to talk about that one.
Friday. The South is.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've the sides. I went left, right. Yeah. So those are all Saturday games. So I guess out of order of chronological. Thanks for correcting me there, Mike. So now we go to the right side of the bracket.
If you include this side of the bracket starting on Thursday.
What's that?
Technically,
don't do that. Don't do that. We're not doing the first 4. That's not.
Well, I
That's not
meant
what
like it
I'm talking
made sense to write up the go this way from left to right, and technically Thursday to Monday. I'm just giving us credit.
about. Yeah. All right. Anyway, yeah. So now we go to the right side of the bracket. So these are the Friday games. So we went out of order chronologically, but we went left to right. We're in America. That's how we read. So that's kind of the order we're going in here. Again, Baylor, Hartford, pretty straightforward. I think we all think the Bears are going forward in that one. North Carolina, Wisconsin, a bit of an interesting one because these are, I don't know, two historically good teams, but meeting in this 8-9 matchup. I'm personally very big on the Tar Heels, and I think if they had a different matchup, maybe if they ended up a little bit of better seed, I might see them winning 2 games. But in this game, at least, I have them beating the Badgers.
I have UNC, but I don't know because of how bad Wisconsin's playing. I might switch to them if that makes sense.
just fade the how
UNC
things are going right now.
Coming in off of a very good end of the regular season, a very good showing, even though they did lose to FSU. They like played pretty well in that game, and Wisconsin could not have looked any worse. But I don't know. I had UNC right now, but I would not be shocked if by the time tomorrow happens, I end up having Wisconsin and taking +2.
Yeah. All right. So we both have Baylor, North Carolina in the round of 32 right now. We shift over to the bottom two. We have Villanova, Winthrop, and Purdue versus North Texas. These are both matchups that I've seen some potential upsets happen. I'm going with the both top seeds here just because I know Villanova's a little injured, so I'm a little tempted to go Winthrop here, but I do have again the Fortune 500 company that is Villanova winning at least one game here and then facing off Purdue against in the next round here.
I got Winthrop.
You do? Okay. I mean, I think either way, again, not to go jump too far ahead here, but you have Purdue beating North Texas.
Yeah, I do have Purdue beat North Texas.
And then you have Purdue winning against Winthrop.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that's something we both agree on. I think that either way, Purdue is going to beat whoever comes. I think they're the best team in this quadrant here, or whatever you want to call it. So I do have Purdue beating Villanova. You have them over Winthrop.
Yeah, I might take the under in the Purdue North Texas game of 126. I know Purdue is a pretty ugly style back.
Hard-nosed defensive team.
But I mean, there's a reason why this spread's only 6 points. It's they play 11 guys that all average double-digit minutes, which is pretty big against playing like larger conference teams because like you can interchange guys on who's on fire and no one gets too tired because like I'm assuming they probably like play very up tempo type of basketball. Can't say I've ever watched a game of Winthrop this year, but just like kind of looking at their minutes and the rotation, the fact they've only lost one game seems like they're doing something pretty right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then kind of moving on to the next section here. Do you see an upset in the Utah State Texas Tech game? I don't. I have the Red Raiders moving on, but I know that's kind of been a trendy one as well.
I don't, and again, but yes, very trending. It's +4 game, and I do think it's the Mountain West does deserve some respect as kind of like being on the same level as an American or an A10. So
yeah, I'd say absolutely.
But
okay.
Chris Beard.
All right, I think I'm going to table. I think we both have the Must Bus rolling on at least past Friday, and then also the same with Ohio State. I'm assuming we have both of them winning a game here. So here's the one that
I might take the +16 on Oral Roberts.
Yeah, but to win the game, I think.
No, I just because they have the nation's leading scorer, so that's like the only reason.
Okay, fair enough. Here's one of the first round games that's really driving me crazy as far as I have no idea what to go with is this Florida Virginia Tech game. Neither team's jumping off the page to me, so I don't know. I'm just thinking of it was very COVID related, but I have the run that Virginia Tech made in the ACC tournament. It's weighing me a little bit. I went with the Hokies in this one, but this is another one I might flip-flop on tomorrow morning.
You think the spread will help?
Let's hear it.
It is a pick'em.
All right. That no, it doesn't help my decision, but it helps me feel like validated in my confusion here. So
I'm just gonna.
Which team did you go with?
I'm just going Florida because why not? Yeah.
Either way, I think Ohio State's gonna have no problem with either one of them.
Yeah, I would one for their teammate that went down. I think it's Deontay Johnson. No, that's
oh, that's right. Yeah, exactly. Damn, I might switch now because of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the Hokies were pretty on their social media was pretty cocky about being a 10 seed.
Yeah, I don't like that whole thing. I almost want to like
Thanks for doubting
my
us.
my instincts are telling me to go the other way, which like tells me not, like it's almost like a double reverse psychology here. I'm like, oh, wait, no, that means I should go with them. I don't know.
Like
But
the program like kind of had like a similar thing, but the caption was more work left to do. And it's like, okay, yeah.
right. That's more understandable. Exactly.
It's like Michigan
So
out here is a 10 seed.
right. So as we get into the round of 32 here, I think we have 3 matchups that are pretty chalk. I think we all agree on. Out of the 4, I think we all think Baylor's going to move on versus either North Carolina or Wisconsin. Purdue over I have Villanova. You have it being Winthrop, and then Ohio State beating the winner of Florida Virginia Tech. So I think all 3 of those teams we have firmly in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, 1, 4, and 2.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So I think the real question mark comes at this Texas Tech Arkansas game. Texas Tech was big on 2 years ago when they fell 1 game short of winning the national championship. This year down the stretch, they haven't quite impressed me too much. A lot of people haven't winning this game against Arkansas with the must bus. And Mike, who do you got here?
Why are you asking?
I don't know why I'm asking. It's the must bus, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. Though,
all right. Well, I'm with you on that.
One little fun fact I forgot was that I'm not sure if you remembered. I think we were doing this at the indoor golf up in Route 1. There was an upset of Purdue in 2016 lost to Little Rock, Arkansas, the school, or Arkansas Little Rock, the school. Forgot the head coach was Chris Beard. So
okay, all right.
A revenge game,
but you don't see the same luck here.
Yeah.
Okay. So that takes us to a Baylor, Purdue, and an Arkansas, Ohio State Sweet 16 here. And who do you have meeting for the chance to go to the Final Four?
Baylor and the must bus.
Okay, I'm going to differ from you there. I have Baylor and Ohio State. I think they really – I question them a lot down the stretch, but I think they made a real good run of the Big Ten. They forced Illinois into overtime. Looked like they were out of that game. And they really – and Illinois looks like one of the hottest teams in the country. So I think that was a real impressive outing from the Buckeyes. And I have them getting to the Elite Eight. And I'll tell you what, Mike, I'll take it one step further. I have Ohio State making it to the Final Four. I have them as a 2 seed making it to the Final Four.
It's just their scoring depth kind of scares me. Like seeing
understandable.
And for me,
you got Baylor or the must bus.
The Baylor Bears moving on.
Ah, man, I thought you might have been going must bus there. That's fair enough. So okay. So we have 1 team left to go as far as the Final Fours go. Mike has Gonzaga, Texas, and Baylor. I have Gonzaga, Michigan, and Ohio State. So let's break it down. We'll go down to the Midwest here, and let's rewind here back to the round of 64. This is going to take us to first match of Illinois and Drexel. I'm assuming we both take the line. I have no problem there and get to the round of 32.
I don't know why for some reason I think they might try to look it up. 23 points. I think that's a game they might cover the 23 points.
Yeah. Who knows? The 116 games are always weird. Obviously, we've only had 1 upset ever, but sometimes they're weird, the close for a while. Then we move on to Sister Jean and Loyola Chicago versus Georgia Tech. I might have missed this today. Did Georgia Tech have some sort of COVID or injury thing?
Moses Wright, ACC Player of the Year, out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that stinks. Like I am Loyola winning the.
I agree. I was also on Loyola, but
that game. Yeah. Like I mean, I think they play pretty small, and he was kind of like a wing that could guard big guys. I mean, most of their offense runs through Kurtwig up at Loyola Chicago, so it's definitely gonna take away some of their size. The spread's up to 5.5 now. So
yeah, absolutely. So also should have prefaced this.
I might take the 5 plus 5.5 from Georgia Tech because I think they're a pretty scrappy.
That'd be a close game. Yeah, no. It's an 8-9 game. These always come down to the wire here. So
and they definitely play for their coach with Pastner.
I love Pastner.
Volunteer to shave his head. So,
Pastner's the best. Pastner's the absolute best. But yeah, I should have prefaced the Midwest region, aka the Orange Pantone region. That we have, I think, 6 different Orange teams going on here.
Yep.
So that really applies to the next quarter of teams here. We have Tennessee versus Oregon State. We have an Orange versus Orange matchup there. Then Oklahoma State and Liberty. I personally have both higher seeds advancing with Tennessee and Oklahoma State. Do you see Oregon State maybe posing a threat here?
So on Saturday night, I just went right in, filled out my bracket, and I looked at it Monday night.
Yeah.
I had all the 12 seeds winning.
Did you really?
So I was like, let's rewind it a little bit. And I kind of just stuck with the.
Oh, so you had Georgetown originally?
No. Originally, I did.
And then originally, that's what I said. I said originally.
I thought about it more, and I kind of just like, I think both these teams just kind of had their peak. Like, like you can say a team's hot, but when a team's like hot, like really only 5.
Both Oregon State and Georgetown, you mean?
Yeah, I think that
–
was the tournament. Hence why like you don't really see a lot of conference tournament winners at the 12th line. I think they're there.
Yeah.
So
right.
And like I did watch Colorado lose to Oregon State to like go across the bracket, but that was kind of just like a lot of like Oregon State catching fire from shooting, and Colorado didn't have the best night at the free throw line despite them being the best free throw shooting team in the country. So I kind of just took a step back and I decided to go with 5 seeds because like I'm not really high in Tennessee at all. But
but they'll win a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Even though I think
Oklahoma
State is dominant, Liberty is a better team than you think.
Yeah. But you have Oklahoma State winning that game.
I have Oklahoma State winning that game.
Yeah. Okay. And just to settle this, because sorry, what was that?
The line's plus 7.5. And
okay. And just to settle that, just because I'm sorry, I keep talking over you, man. Go ahead.
I was saying I think they might struggle with Liberty, which I might go 7.5. But if they do end up with Oklahoma State, Tennessee, I might automatically just go right to Oklahoma State because I think the line will probably be close. Yeah. I might just hammer them. So
yeah. And all right. So going off of that, I don't want to jump ahead too much, but I think you just said you almost struggled picking Tennessee to begin with. So I think we both agree it's going to set up that Illinois-Oklahoma State Sweet 16 matchup.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we'll start that top half of the bracket for now. Then we have, I think it's a little bit more intriguing as we get to the bottom half of the bracket. San Diego State, Syracuse. Syracuse obviously has the historical lore and everything, and they were able to sneak in without even having to play one of these playing games. But I think the Aztecs are going to take care of business here and knock off the Orange here in round 1.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay. West Virginia, Morehead State. I'm assuming Huggy Bear is going to take care of business here. Morehead State is definitely a scrappy team historically, but I think the Mountaineers are going to get into round 2.
Plus 13, but West Virginia.
Yeah. Okay. Houston, I think we all think they're going to beat the Fighting Norris Coles out of Cleveland State here. But Clemson, Rutgers. Again, we talked about Rutgers before. A team that started off very strong, but really faded on the stretch. They're going to end up as a 10 seed versus Clemson here. I have the Tigers of Clemson advancing. Not sure if you went with the Scarlet Knights here.
I have Clemson. Oh, and I have Rutgers.
You do have Rutgers. Okay. All right. Fair enough. I just saw an ad for the Blake Griffin True TV prank show, and I'm very excited about that.
Yeah. But back to the game. This was I'm excited for UConn, Maryland. I'm pretty excited for Oregon, DCU, but the Florida, Virginia Tech, and the Clemson Rutgers games, it's just sure. Like
yeah, exactly. All right. So now
start the year, then could not look worse on the stretch.
Okay, and since we kind of settled the top half of the brackets as far as the Sweet 16 goes, so we have San Diego State, West Virginia, Clemson, Houston. Who's meeting at the Sweet 16?
You mean the Elite Eight?
No, we have Illinois is going to play Oklahoma State. We'll table that for now.
I got it.
We'll go to no, it's all right. I get it.
I have Houston moving on past Rutgers because you can tell I'm not highest in either.
Okay.
SDSU.
Man. All right.
I mean, I have
1
versus 4, 3 versus 2 in every other bracket. So this is I'm
I have that in spoiler alert, I have that in every single bracket. I know it's most likely not going to happen, but I don't know which one's not going to happen. So I'm picking them all. Try to only have one go wrong. So I have Illinois, Oklahoma State. I have West Virginia, Houston. You have San Diego State, Houston. I also am very, very nervous about that pick. I'm pretty confident in all 3 of those teams besides West Virginia, but just something about Huggy Bear. Those, tougher than a weekend with your in-laws. So as John Rothstein would say.
With McBride and Sherman, they can definitely score this year too. I put this more.
No, I'm not confident in it at all. I'm not. I was just like
Oklahoma State down the stretch. I don't know. I'm just pretty
okay.
Mountain West some respect.
No, I love San Diego State. I think they're really good. It's just so little West Virginia. It's a tough team. Okay, I'm gonna get to I think one of the like what's the picture with I think it's Wesley Snipes. He has the gun with the tears streaming down his face, having to shoot someone. That's me with this Oklahoma State team. I wish they were playing any other one seed, maybe not Gonzaga, but if they were playing Michigan or Baylor, I would have them win. I'm not even kidding you. Like I would 100% have to go and probably go into the Final Four. I just love this Illinois team so much. I hate that I have to shoot and kill the Cowboys in the Sweet 16. I think they're a better team than that, but they just got a terrible draw. I hate that they had to face Illinois, but I have the Fighting Illini going forward in this game, and I'm expecting Cape Cunningham not to go down without a fight.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, like you said, kind of like that Kansas Michigan game back with Trey Burke.
Mm-hmm. So, exactly. Yeah.
I do expect the Illini to come out with the W.
Yep. All right, and then you have Houston versus San Diego State. Who do you have matched up against the Illini?
I have Houston.
Okay. All right. I actually the Mountaineers winning another game, getting to the Elite Eight, and I have them losing to the Illini.
It's one of those things where it's probably going to cost me in like these pools, but I think if it's West Virginia, Houston, West Virginia wins. But if it's Houston, San Diego State, Houston wins.
The Houston wins. Okay. And then do you have Illinois winning that game?
40 points. So
right. Do you have Illinois winning that game?
Yes, I have Illinois in the Final Four. So Final
Four. Okay.
I got Texas, Baylor, and Illinois.
Okay. So that means we have two similarities. So I have Gonzaga, Michigan, Ohio State, and Illinois. I'm very Big Ten heavy. If you haven't noticed, I have 3 Big Ten teams at Gonzaga. So again, this is still subject to change. I'll decide if I'm making changes tomorrow. I'll post it from the official Hooley Brothers podcast tomorrow, both of our picks here. But all right, we're down to the Final Four. What do you have as your championship matchup? Give me the winner over who?
I think we're destined for this game all along. It got canceled. in I believe December. But I have the Zags falling to the Baylor Bears in the championship.
Oh, okay. All right. I was very worried we're gonna have the exact same outcome. I also have the Gonzaga. I also have Gonzaga falling in their final game in pursuit of perfection, but to the Fighting Illini of Illinois. I love this team. I love Ayo. I love Coburn. I'm blanking right now on my guy, the freshman off the bench. I love him too for Illinois. So I just think that this is revenge for 05 coming full circle on me. I obviously started a little late. I didn't fill out a bracket until I was 12 years old. Illinois was my first team. They fell short to UNC the year you beat me in that pool. But I'm just big on the Illini, so I have Illinois beating Gonzaga in the finals. So we both are the right side of the bracket, taking down Gonzaga in their final game in pursuit of perfection. So good. I'm glad we have kind of similar but different champions here. I was a little worried if looking at Illinois over Gonzaga.
Not really very confident in this pick, but I just didn't really.
No, I appreciate it. I think, Mike, you're in a situation where I think if Baylor does win, especially over Gonzaga, you'll probably win any pool you're in. Whereas me, I think Illinois might be one of maybe the
very
favorite. I mean, Gonzaga.
How the good they're winning. I'm kind of happy that they lost to Oklahoma State in the Big 12 championship game because it's very hard to, especially in these bigger conferences, like steam
with both
conference tournaments and get there. I think their last loss was Michigan State, the game that Ayo got hurt and then went down.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, hey, so I think that was really fun going through both of our brackets here, kind of piece by piece, and yeah, I just think we're just in for a lot of fun, no matter how this breaks down. I know I'm gonna get my heart broken, at least in the early rounds. I hope that Illinois can make a run and kind of make up for any mistakes I made early on. But yeah, very excited. We have a full slate of games on Friday, Saturday, a little bit different this year. It used to be, this would be, we'd be in the middle of it right now. The first 4 would be on a Tuesday and Wednesday type deal. But a little bit of a different shakeout. We're going to have Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday, Monday being the round of 32. And we'll obviously start next Saturday as far as the Sweet 16 goes. But again, a predominant amount of our show here was based on that. And I'm glad we were kind of able to break it down. Well, obviously some different insight come Tuesday. I'm sure a lot of our dreams will have been shattered by then, and we'll break down the Sweet 16 from there. But again, we spent so much time talking about this tournament, and I think we're all very, very excited about it. We went through all of our predictions here. Let's talk about some of the other sports briefly before we wrap up here. NBA-wise, as we stick to basketball but go to the pro level, I'm done with the Celtics. I don't know about you, but I'm just done. You put it right here. Oh no, we suck again. Quoting Rob Schneider, the Waterboy. Can't win back-to-backs. They can't win the first round of the back-to-back. They can't win the second round of the back-to-back. Utah game, fine. I still think that game was very winnable, but then you drop one to Cleveland inexplicably. I don't know. I don't have much for this team right now.
Yeah, I like watching Rob Williams, but Jason Tatum tries to kill.
Yes. Yep. Rob Williams is my favorite team this year. So I don't know. He seems to be on his own level, like energy wise, as far as offensive and defensive side of the ball. I think he got his most minutes last night against Cleveland, and I think they should keep that going. It just they're 20-20 right now, and there's really just no excuse for that. I'm ready to just completely bail on this season and just say let's figure it out next year, because I think your best case scenario is winning a first round game and then probably getting smoked by Brooklyn or Philly or whoever you play in the second round.
Yeah, I'm not really too confident in this bunch right now, and
no,
pretty terrible since he's gotten back from an injury. So
no, and like you can't put it all on him, but yeah, he hasn't been good. So like, I don't know, just like Jalen and Tatum are putting up numbers, but they seem like empty numbers. They seem like star players on terrible teams. They're putting up Trae Young type numbers here, but there's no sort of cohesiveness of this unit. I don't know if it's on them too. I don't know if it's on the supporting staff, if it's on Brad, whatever it might be. I don't know. And I love Brad. Does the small part of you wish he kind of does go to Indiana, just so we can start over without having to say we fired him?
I don't know.
A small part of me that wants that.
Not for me. I kind of want to ride it out with him.
Do you know what I mean? In that instance, like, well, he took the decision. Not like we didn't have to make a decision. He made it himself. I love Brad, but I just think, I mean, because he's one of the best college coaches we've seen in recent memory. But it's just like translating to the NBA, because I think what he's good at, especially, is just like getting these young guys. I mean, he took that 2014-15 team to, I mean, he got to the playoffs. I mean, granted, it was a 17 in a weak Eastern Conference, but I think he's good at that. But once you get him to this next level, can he take you to the finish line? I don't know. And I don't want to put too much on Brad, because I at the end of the day, I do want him to stay, but I'm just saying, like, there's a small part of me that's like, well, what if we got a new voice in here? But I don't know. A lot's going on with this team that's just not going in the right direction. Whether it's a depth thing, whether it's leadership from Tatum and Brown, it seems to be. And granted, they lost against Utah, so you can't put too much on it. But it seems to be, if they don't have Kemba, they don't have. I mean, he seems to be the X factor in a lot of these games.
Because you just need a third person that could possibly score. And
right, exactly.
You kind of just don't have that. Like, you get a lot of like Peyton Pritchard and like Grant Williams, like
Mm-hmm.
extra time minutes.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like you have no depth. So it's like once you get past your top two, you go to Kemba Walker, and it's like if he's either not playing or kind of not able to, kind of perform as you need him to, then game's kind of over there. I know Smart Beat kind of changes everything. Do you add someone? I mean, the deadline's a week away now. Or are they going to add someone, or they're just going to kind of, again, write the season off and start fresh in 2021-22? I don't know. So we'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, I'm pretty much done with it now. I'm going with college basketball to distract us for the next 3 weeks. But we'll have to keep an eye on the rest of the league. But yeah, I know we have a few other notes here that happened throughout the week. PJ Tucker got freed. I saw someone on Twitter tweeted out the Antonio Brown clip when he first got traded to the Patriots, just running outside in his yard. He gets to escape these strikes. He goes to Milwaukee, which I think is a guy I wanted the Celtics. I didn't quite see the return there. Was it substantial, or is this something the Celtics could have swung?
It's something the Celtics could have done.
All right. Well, great. I love PJ Tucker, so
I wanted them to. And then they also shipped Torrey Craig out of there. He was in the Phoenix. I think he just never really. He was a pretty good guy off the bench. And Denver was never really stuck in Milwaukee, so I'm kind of happy to see what he can do in Phoenix.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also we have a record breaker in Trevor Ariza getting traded again. Was it the 11th time?
11th time. I think that's what Perez was saying.
So he was on the Thunder. I couldn't have told you that. And he got traded to Miami for upstanding gentleman Myers Leonard there.
I think it was like Leonard and like a 2027 like second rounder.
Like a second rounder. Yeah, exactly.
No, it's they basically just gave him away because Leonard's like not going to report to Oklahoma City. I think it's kind of like we're trading him to buy him out.
And
traded Trevor Ariza for a 13-year-old.
Yeah. So again, we'll who knows what's going to happen with Leonard there? But yeah, history for Trevor Ariza. So to acknowledge that. Yeah, nothing too much else in the NBA. I know we're kind of coming to the All-Star break there. We'll kind of hop back in after March Madness here, but I always enter this weird gray area, almost like baseball in September when NFL starts and like pick up with the playoffs start. Same thing with the NBA and March Madness. I'm like, all right, wait for this to kind of settle itself out. We'll see where we are in early April here. But did want to quickly hit on the Bruins as well. They sound like they're just splitting everything these days. They have a 2-game set. They win one, they lose one. They did the same thing most recently. Sorry, go ahead.
They won tonight.
Okay. Oh yeah, actually, I did get the score alert. But is that one? Is it a 2-game set?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think they're playing.
Yeah, they'll probably lose the next one. Yeah, they beat Buffalo tonight 4-1. The Buffalo's pretty bad, so they might win both there.
I think some guy, Greg McKegg is his name, and he made an NHL debut for the.
That's not a real person.
Hey, he scored a goal. So I think he scored. It's G. McKegg.
That's not a real person. Well, okay, if his name's anything but Greg, I'll believe you. But Greg McKegg, that's not a real person.
Yeah, I'm gonna get
like Giovanni or something. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So they're able to split their trip to Pittsburgh without Tuukka Rask. Darth Vladar. What is it?
Greg McKegg.
Greg McKegg. I'm not buying it then. But anyway.
I mean, NHL debut when he's your age. So.
He's my age? He's making his debut?
Yeah.
So there's still hope.
Yeah.
Granted, I don't know how to skate, but anyway. And then Darth Vader. I know we had to, because I know Rask's been out, so obviously Halak started one game, but it was Vladar in the other one. I like the nickname for sure. I see your note here. We're looking very average, and I again, kind of just summing up what I said. It seems like they're splitting a lot of these 2-game sets.
Yeah, so and just like they can't really put the puck in the net because I think like even it was pretty much a 1-to-1 game majority of the time. Darth Vladar had 4 saves and one. I think like I think Tim Thomas like kind of just like I would hope for the best and it worked. So yeah, it was pretty good game for him. After seeing him flopping around like a fish in the playoffs, but I guess a good bounce back into Sabres. They just need more people to put the puck in the net.
Yeah, I mean, simple game. That's all it comes down to. But I'm joking. Obviously, there's obviously a lot more to the game. But if you put the puck in the net, that will lead you to win the game, obviously. And then we have here. Your only other note here was that the Rangers have been kind of dominating the Flyers as of late.
That was just one game last night. Let me see if there's a final score.
Oh, right. Was it like 9 to nothing
for the second period?
Yeah. Oh boy.
Let me see if it got any better or worse.
Yeah. Shout out my guy Brad Hahn. Tough loss there.
Bernadette had a nice hat trick and 3 assists. It was a 7-goal second period.
Man,
well, that's good for us in the standings. I know it's kind of fun.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, that thing's cut though. There's 5 teams going to go for 4 spots here, not including the Rangers. So, obviously, very tough division there. So, all right. So let's quickly wrap up with some NFL news. We'll start with the past. We kind of told you the onslaught of moves that happened Monday night following the day. And then obviously the very next day, we were hit with even more breaking news. Our guy Beetle on the Sports Hub went nuts along with Zolak there. Hunter Henry, the big signing. So we're back to the twin tight end formation. Gronk and the player that shall not be named. Just kidding. It's Aaron Hernandez. Before all that crap went down.
Give Marty some credit when he was here.
Oh, yeah. Gronk and Marty Bennett as well. So that's something the Patriots have been really good at. So they have Henry and Jonnu Smith now. I'm very excited to see how the tight end set goes. Obviously, like I said, the quarterback. We'll see how that breaks out, if it's Cam, a rookie, or someone else. But Ted Karras also coming back after a stint in Miami. J.C. Jackson resigns. Kyle Van Noy coming back. I was very excited about that last night. I know some people have mixed feelings about that, but I think a lot of Pats Nation are very excited to see KVN back after his 2 Super Bowl rings here. And then Cody Davis, don't know much about him.
Special teamer. We just got back.
Special teams, yeah. Adam Butler, did he say was that Miami?
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of
just going back and forth with some of these players.
Yeah, exactly. What's the word I'm looking for? A lot of incest kind of between the Pats and Dolphins there. A lot of some. I mean, I'm just saying. Just the same system between again Flores obviously coming from here from New England. Marquise Lee
Folk's back too, by the way.
Oh, I did see that. It's the Pets of the kicker back with Nick Folk here. I wasn't big on it last year, but he was actually pretty good for them last year.
Yeah.
So welcome back as well.
I didn't list it. We traded Ryan Izzo.
To Houston for like a 7th-round pick or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Butler, Marquise Lee, and Bo Allen all out. David Andrews doesn't seem like he's coming back here, but we'll see. It seems like, especially with Karras coming in and Andrews looking for more money, he might be heading elsewhere.
I hope we can,
What's that, Mike?
I hope we can still retain him though.
Yeah, I mean, I would love that back. I want to beef up this offensive line as much as possible. I do have to give a salute. Pat Chung, 2 stints with the Patriots. He opted out last year. Looked like he might be coming back, but he did decide to retire this year. I think that's it for the Patriots Hall of Fame. Again, with those 2 different stints, played such a major role, especially in his second stint after his brief stay in Philly. Love Pat Chung, great Patriot, and yeah, sad to see him go.
The red jacket is coming away.
It absolutely. So salute to Pat Chung. I see Mike have here Carson and Lenny. Are Leonard Fournette and Chris Carson both rumored as far as that?
We're talks. I think we're.
I saw Fournette. I didn't see much about Chris Carson.
Yeah, I think we're definitely in the works to get another running back. I kind of hope they don't go pretty big because I'd rather hope space to get Andrews back rather than paying running back. But yeah.
All right, so we'll then also kind of quickly go through some NFL notes here. I know a lot of news with Deshaun lately, both between his situation with the Texans, then obviously a lot of lawsuits coming down. Obviously, if any of those are true, that's certainly not what you like to see. So we'll kind of keep an eye on the situation there. As far as Deshaun goes, speaking of kind of controversy going on, Von Miller staying in Denver. Is it Leonard Williams who's extending with
Leonard Williams,
the Giants? Yeah. Also, big country. Do you see that today? Big country. Kyle Rudolph is signing with the Giants as well.
Yes.
Tyrod Taylor to Houston. So I don't think that really impacts the Deshaun situation at all. If I'm being honest, I think Tyrod's the perfect backup for him, actually. All right, we have to make the joke for our guy Big Cat. That Wheel of Fortune puzzle meme with the Bears quarterback, and it was just like 4 blanks. Then the what was it? Blank L blank ON.
Yeah.
Like, so the puzzle, it's Russ Wilson. No, but it's Andy Dalton. So Andy Dalton is going to the Bears. They seem to never are trying to fill this quarterback position. I don't really get what like. It's just like, how did they not realize they're doing the same thing over and over and over again? I know they tried with Mitch, but I don't know. It's just not working.
Yeah, it's not working. And then speaking of Mitch, he signed with the Bills today. I know I didn't write that down because it was pretty early in the day.
I actually love that signing, for being honest. You have to have a solid backup, and Mitch is a solid backup. You have to at least admit that. He's a fringe starter, but it's very solid backup.
And he's the same type of QB as Josh Allen. And
can move out of the pocket, but mostly
like it's a different situation with the age of the quarterback, but kind of doing what like Jameis did. Just like, okay, like I know I have my flaws, but I know like I'm very talented. Just get in a good system, get him with Dayball, and then who knows, maybe Dayball can like go somewhere new, and he brings Mitch with him. So like it's some personally, I like the move for him. And also just with Chicago, just notes I didn't list. They're releasing Kendall Fuller. They're now letting Akeem Hicks listen to trade offers, and Tom Robinson now is opting in with the bag, which is pretty surprising after everything. So
yeah.
That's
I still like the take Big Cat had about it. Just like, I would not blame Khalil Mack if he just retired.
Yeah, it's not looking good in the Windy City.
No, but I mean they it's a huge like contingency to throw in there, but they just need a quarterback, honestly. Like, that's all they're really missing.
Yeah, hopefully they just suck and they can try again with the top 5 pick.
They're not that bad though. That's the problem. They're not bad. They're just a very middle of the road team.
Well, if they get rid
18th pick.
If they get rid of half their defense, their offense isn't special, so I think they would slide pretty quickly.
I think Khalil Mack could make that much of a difference, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Emmanuel Sanders, also, while we're on the topic of Buffalo, he signs the deal with the Bills. Pat Peterson going to the Vikings. AJ Green going to Arizona. I actually really like that move. I know you haven't heard a question mark. Is Fitz gone? I like to see Fitz going as long. I mean, with him, it's obviously either coming back or retiring. I don't see him going anywhere else if he's held off this long. Tampa? No, Fitz has had the opportunity to leave so many times. I think he's either retiring or he's going to find a way to come back to Arizona on like a vet min deal or a couple million there. I could be wrong, but I just feel like he's had days ago. And then finally, we'll wrap up with some Washington football team news. Actually, we have a few more here, but we'll start with they're able. The Fitzmagic is in the nation's capital. I'm very excited about it. They have him in Heineke. They might also draft someone, who knows, but seeing Fitz this week, I'm assuming he'll start at least one game there because he always seems to do so.
Yeah, I had a nice quote today that if he's the starter, every game will be a revenge story because he's played everywhere.
Exactly. Actually, though, he's the Trevor Ariza of the NFL. Callback. And then also saying Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, I was gonna say still will draft a guy, but that as long as Gibson avoids a slump between the good running game.
Yeah, Gibson's a good run back.
Kissick as being like a pass catching option, and then McLaurin and Samuel. That's with the upstart Logan Thomas, not bad.
Yeah, absolutely. And then kind of finishing up here, we have Trent Williams going to the Niners, or re-signing with the Niners rather than Jamal Williams with Detroit. And then a few question marks here. I know we have Galladay. Seems like he'd be rumored to either the Bengals or the Giants. So I think we start go to the Giants or Lions wide receiver. We'll see if he kind of follows suit there, or he kind of keeps options open and wants to hook up with Joey Burrow there.
Yep, and then a last couple notes that I missed today was Will Fuller going to the Dolphins.
Yes, that's right.
Herbert getting a tight end along with getting a tight end. Jared Cook.
Jared Cook, right.
And then Kenyon Drake signing with the Raiders for some reason.
Who drafted a running back and then paid this one too much? I don't know what the Raiders are doing down there. Our guy Trill he's still sick on the toilet right now. You can't believe it. Yeah. A few other notes. We have the Jackson calls on Minshew. I don't know if that affects the Patriots or not, or maybe some other teams. But I mean, they're obviously going with Lawrence, so see what happens there. Russell Wilson again. The Bears rather did strike out on him. It seems like the Seahawks are pretty
set with him.
They're going to keep set on keeping him at least for this year. Watson, we kind of talked about that before. Kind of the different rumors, both trade wise and all the different cases going on. So again, NFL free agency has come out really kind of hot and heavy here, and what's that? The tampering period. I mean, well, now they can sign, right? It was like 4:00 yesterday.
Yeah.
So yeah, been pretty crazy to start here. We'll keep an eye on how everything shakes out as we head into the draft in about a month or so. And then also one last thing I wanted to bring up before we sign off here. We kind of forgot to mention this on Monday's show. I know we had a lot of bracket talk, but we want to say RIP to marvelous Marvin Hagler. That Hagler-Hearns fight, I know we both weren't around for it, but our dad says is one of the greatest fights, one of the greatest rounds he's ever seen. Hagler, the greatest fighter he's ever seen. So if you look at that round, it literally looks like a clip out of EA Sports Fight Night, where it's just there's no defense at all. It's just two guys going absolutely at it. So lost Hagler a little bit too early here at the age of 66. So RIP to him and the family there. Luckily, it does seem like he did die pretty peacefully in his sleep, but obviously gone too soon here.
Yep, rock the mess. And great fight. Right. 13 minutes, definitely watch it.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. That's one thing Dad always shows us. And again, when I texted him the other day, he's like literally like, yeah, like the best fighter I ever saw. And that's something. It's a name I almost didn't know for, probably like until like the last few years of my life. You maybe you hear about the Alis, the Fraziers, the Foremans, all that stuff back in the day. But no, Hagler was obviously an all-time great, and just gone too soon at the age of 66 here. So I wanted to give an RIP to him as we wrap up here. And but yeah, I don't know, Mike. Did you have any final notes there?
Nope.
No. This is March. This is March, man. I'm so excited for this weekend. So excited, especially for the next few days. We have 16 games both Friday and Saturday. We'll finish off with 8 on Sunday and Monday before we get into the Sweet 16 for the next weekend. Probably have a recap show about Tuesday to kind of say what happened the last 4 days. And then a quick sneak peek for the people out there. We might have a little bit of a live show next Saturday, as Mike might be coming over to the apartment here. We might do a nice live show as the first games start. Do a nice live show, first ever live show here. So very excited for the next few weeks here.
As am I. And so happy trails, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. This is March. I hope everyone has a great opening weekend of March Madness. Get your TV set up, get your brackets filled out, get your picks made, and just let's just enjoy it all. So thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll talk to you Tuesday once we have our Sweet 16.
See you guys later.